I want to talk to you about life. Everything seems to have a cycle that repeats itself, and that is what I'm going to talk about. As teachers, we need to see the entire process of a cycle wherever we're employed before we even think of moving on. Let's do this. Please subscribe. The more subscribing that happens and the more commenting and the more thumbs up on every video means this channel is much easier to find for those who need the information. You are helping out other teachers when you subscribe and comment on these videos. For instance, your elementary school has a 6-year cycle. Junior high has about a 3-year cycle. High school, if your 9th grade is in your high school, you have a 4-year cycle in high school. So that is what you need to focus on. And bad things are going to happen during whatever cycle you're in. But let me tell you something. Bad things move on. Bad things don't hang around. Bad things are something that you just have to deal with. Everyone has bad things that happen. And you know, I've watched a lot of my friends and a lot of people move on and go somewhere else because they didn't like what was happening. Sadly, a lot of the things that people try to get away from and those bad things, they tend to follow individuals. Because in reality, some of these problems they're facing come from them. I know most of my problems stem from me. So if I can work with me and I'm going to be wherever I'm going to be, you can't run from yourself because you're always there. I need to work with me. And in whatever situation I'm in, that is what I need to be working on. All things are temporary. So be sure and work through those issues, work through those difficult times on your own in the location where you are. Just an example of how often things can change. In my first 5 years of teaching, I had 3 principals. I had multiple directors of instructions and APs were cycled through. And that's just administration. That doesn't talk about the teachers who were all around me. Things change. And I adopted this mindset, and I think that it's very beneficial for anyone who's going through difficult times, and that is simply you can do anything for a year. And really a year in school is not 12 months. There are some considerable breaks in there, so you can do anything for a school year. And when you come back, things will be different. Every year is different. So what you need to do is focus on the long term and don't even think about hopping jobs. Hopping jobs is a bad thing. It doesn't look good for you and it doesn't look good for the campus. That campus that you're on that you don't like isn't going to be that same campus 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road. You will never see how effective you can actually be until you've stayed for an entire cycle. So I encourage you, stay for a cycle. But if you do decide you need to move, here's some things to keep in mind. First thing, try to work through those problems like we talked about before leaving. Second, write out your reasons for leaving. Put them in print. If you have a colleague who's close enough, let them read the problems. Let them see what you're thinking. And that way you can get some outside input on what you're thinking about doing. Now, I hear this a lot from people who are considering leaving a campus. I have to do what's best for me. And that is true. Because what's best for you is ultimately best for the students. However, I'm going to tell you, when you leave a school, you are not necessarily doing, in the short term, what's best for the students. There's going to be some suffering that goes on because you've become part of the fabric of that campus. So don't immediately fall on that I have to do what's best for me sword. Instead, understand about time and the fact that time really does heal most problems. And make a commitment to your campus. Make a commitment to your district to stay at least a single cycle in one place. That's it. I enjoy learning with you, I enjoy teaching with you, and together we will take over the world.